Namaskar and welcome back to another episode of Candid with Candidates.
My name is Gathika Ratnayaka. I am a PhD student at the School of Computing.
If your PhD were a movie genre, what would it be?
Documentary?
If computing power wasn't a limiting factor, what dream experiment would you run?
Predict these natural disasters beforehand.
So if you hadn't gone into computer science, what alternative career path might you have chosen?
I would be a Uber driver.
One underrated skill that secretly helps you in research.
It's overthinking.
So what's your ultimate 80s anthem?
Forever young.
Retro jackets, collector's passion or fashion nostalgia?
It's mostly fashion nostalgia.
What's a misconception people generally have about doing a PhD?
PhD is way more than the subject we are focusing on.
Namaskar and welcome back to another episode of Candid with Candidates, Unfiltered PhD Life. This is the show where we go beyond the papers and publication to uncover the real journey behind every PhD story. Today, our guest is Gathika, a PhD researcher, an engineer, cricket lover, swimmer, and unapologetic fan of 80s music and retro jackets. His PhD dives into the fascinating world of graph matching, blending ideas from deep learning, stable matching, and optimal transport. It's a mix of theory, creativity, and real-world impact. So, let's get candid and get to know the person behind the research. Welcome, Gathika. Welcome to my channel.
Yeah, welcome and thanks for the opportunity.
Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
My name is Gathika Ratnayaka and I am a PhD student at the School of Computing, the Australian National University. My research is on the problem called graph matching, where I actually use deep learning techniques to solve the problem. When it comes to the things outside of my PhD, I try to hang out with my friends at the graduate house. I have a really great set of friends here, and also swim at my leisure time. And yeah, it's been a very nice journey at the ANU. And I did my undergraduate studies in Sri Lanka, University of Morattu. So I'm actually from Sri Lanka and now currently studying here at ANU.
Yeah, it's really great to know more about you. So, for our audience, how would you describe your research in one simple analogy?
You know, like the real world structures like social networks or even images and then protein-protein interaction networks, these kind of things can be represented as graphs where we have nodes and edges showing relations between entities and nodes showing entities. The graph matching problem is basically to find, given two such networks, find similar or corresponding nodes between these two networks. So I'm actually trying to solve that problem with utilizing the deep learning techniques. So that's my research.
That's so interesting topic. What's been the toughest challenge in developing deep learning framework for graph matching?
This graph matching problem is interesting because we finally need like kind of a one-to-one matching. So it is a discrete output, and the deep learning models usually output a continuous output. So how to bridge that difference is one of the key aspects of my research, which is quite interesting as well as challenging.
What sparked your interest in blending stable matching and optimal transport theory with graph matching?
So as I mentioned, like the bridging the gap between the continuous outputs and the discrete output. So this stable matching is actually doing that. It can output a discrete matching, and it has a very nice notion of stability about its output. And then optimal transport is another economic related problem where the optimum way of transporting mass from one place to another, again related to kind of doing some matching between two discrete distributions like graphs. So these connections actually intrigued me to explore more about these concepts, which are very quite interesting.
Wow, yeah, it will be really great to read your research finding later soon, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
So how did your R&D engineering experience shape the way you approach academic research?
That's a really interesting question. So, I mean, in the industry as a research and development engineer, there are some commonalities between industry research and academic research. So we have some problem to solve, and we try to explore the existing solutions and then try to learn from them as well as them modify them and come up with a better solution. But in academia, one of the things I learned after coming to my PhD is the emphasis on the theoretical aspects, like the foundations and the fundamentals. So that is a huge difference from my industry experience. So yes, there are some aspects I learned from the industry, but there are some aspects I have to learn while doing the PhD. So yeah, that's the difference.
Wow. So what surprising insight you have gained while working on theoretical foundation of graph matching?
Yeah, so you mean the interesting results, right?
Yeah.
Yes, by leveraging deep graph matching or deep learning for graph matching, we can come up with efficient solutions while not compromising on the accuracy that much or the matching quality as much. So that is very interesting. And the other thing is, like, we show that like it is theoretically possible to achieve optimality for the both sets involved in matching in a learning setting using stable matching as well. So there are several interesting theoretical results we came out, like novel optimization objective for partial graph matching using optimal partial transport. So these kind of interesting theoretical contributions we did during my PhD. Yeah.
Wow, exciting. So how do you decide when to prioritize theory versus when to focus on practical implementation?
Yeah, that's another interesting question, which is not that easy. I think it goes both way around. Like sometimes it depends on the practical problem at hand, and then we see like how we solve this, and when we try to solve this, we have to come up with novel theoretical contributions. And sometimes we get good results, and then we analyze it further, and we need to do some theoretical analysis to explain why this is happening. I would say both aspects are important, and they go on hand in hand rather than one being more important. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So which part of your PhD journey has been the most transformative so far?
Yeah, PhD journey, I think the research that I got involved in, we had some theoretical aspects in the research. So doing this theoretical work together with while doing an application, and then having the chance to apply the things I learned during my undergrads and high school to really interesting problems. These kind of things are really transformative, I guess, that could really assess our potential as well.
Wow, so you have been like doing research on the same field since your undergrad?
No. I mean, like, I took some modules related to mathematics and things in undergrads, and actually they were not that useful those days, but now they have become useful.
Yeah. That makes sense. So yeah, deep learning, it has application everywhere today, right? So what domain excites you the most now?
I now see like the deep learning is being used to create these songs and movies and those things, and it is really interesting, and I'm looking forward to see what kind of novel creations they come up using these AI models and deep learning models, and how will they compete with human created movies and songs. So that would be an interesting thing to see in the future. Yeah.
Does your research also focus on such things like the movies and
No, not my one.
Okay, but you are curious about that
because my like broader domain is deep learning, but I'm focused on a very niche problem called graph matching, but I'm interested in deep learning as a broader subject. So I was talking about mostly about deep learning.
Okay. If computing power wasn't a limiting factor, what dream experiment would you run?
I would again go at a deep learning level, because I'm interested on that as a broader subject and has many interesting applications. So one thing I would do with the recent things that are happening is, if I have the chance and enough data to predict these natural disasters beforehand with precise locations and those things, I would run some experiments that can develop such a model. So that would be one thing I would be very keen on working with. Yeah.
Wow, that would be exciting, because like the landslides, earthquake, flood, those disasters are like really causing problem in our countries, right?
Yes.
So that would be really useful. So where do you see the future of deep learning or AI headed in next few years?
Now it is being applied for almost all the domains, deep learning and AI. So I think it would be a very transformative factor for all the careers and everything, and it will create new job opportunities as well as will change the whole landscape of career paths future generations would have, and that is pretty much interesting to see what would happen.
Yeah. So now let's jump into the unfiltered PhD life related questions, okay, in this section. So what's one PhD moment that made you question everything and one that made it all worth it?
Yes, so actually I think the first few months when I started my PhD, it was very tough. I had really low domain knowledge, as well as I came to Australia and it was a very new experience and I have to adapt to here. So I started questioning all my decisions at that point.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah. Then after some time, and we got some interesting results, and then and when I feel like I have done really something really interesting and something really valuable, at that moment it feels like it's worth it. And so yeah, those are the two end of the same thing.
So how do you manage the highs and lows of long research cycles?
Yes, that's difficult. It's very difficult, and a lot of uncertainty going on, and it's not easy. And so talking with supervisors would help because they have experience and they understand you. And other thing is like having a good personal support system, like my family, parents, partner, my wife, and then like my friends at graduate house. Like they are really incredible. I mean, so that's how I manage. But I agree, it's not easy. It's tough. Yeah.
That's right. What's a misconception people generally have about doing a PhD?
Yes, I feel like generally people think PhD is like you have some knowledge about some domain and you are trying to further sharpen your skills on that domain or enhance your capabilities. That is true. But I think PhD is more than that. It will change your perception. There will be some philosophical transformation as well. PhD is way more than the subject we are focusing on. It's a whole journey and very transformative journey. Yeah.
Okay. Philosophical transformation. Yeah. What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, for example, in the graduate house, I met people who are working on different domains and they are kind of experts because most of them are doing masters or PhDs on those domains, from economics to anthropology to nuclear physics and everything. So I talked with them and I learned a lot of things from them and understood how ignorant I am. And then I met people who have been has some very spiritual kind of things going on. And so after all this exposure, it was really transformative and it was really good. Yeah.
Wow. In a good way, right?
In a good.
Philosophical in a good way.
Yeah,
okay.
very good. Yeah.
So what's one thing you wish someone had told you before starting your PhD?
How tough it is. Like, I mean, a lot of people, when I asked about PhD, the people who have already completed, I think they were positive in a way that they would like to encourage people. That is really good. But at the same time, I think a lot of people would agree, like, PhD is not easy. You are doing your own research by yourself and there is a lot of uncertainty there. And so you should be ready and you should know what you are coming to, and that would help.
Wow, well said. So what does a good PhD day look like for you?
Having good results and I mean, coming maybe theoretical results, or getting a proof done, or having good experimental results, or like getting a paper published, or good conversation with my supervisor. It all counts.
Did you publish already?
Yeah.
A lot of papers?
Not a lot of, a few, yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So now let's move towards some of your background related questions.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
So how has your Sri Lankan background influenced your research journey or outlook?
In general, in Sri Lanka, like, education is very important.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So our parents really emphasized on education more than anything, and so it naturally we are inclined to be good at, like we try to be good at studies. So, and then then we have like for in Sri Lanka for the STEM subjects also there is some recognition kind of thing. So I naturally inclined to do mathematics and physics related subjects. So I think that background really helped. That is the thing that I think pushed me to work towards. And finally, I found my interest in computer science.
You have passion for cricket, right? You enjoy watching cricket.
Yes.
So do you see parallels between cricket strategy and the way you approach research problems?
Yes, I think especially with Test cricket, maybe it's like 5-day game, and you have to be very, very patient and perseverance. I think it's like sometimes like doing a PhD where sometimes things will not go well, like a very bad pitch or bad day, and you have to just keep your you have to on your defend rather than attacking. So then after some time things might change and you can play aggressively. I think PhD is also like that. There will be times where you will not be getting any results, and there will be times you are getting good feedback and everything. And so perseverance and being patient, I think both are common in those two things.
Wow, so well said. What does swimming play in keeping you balanced during your intense research periods?
Yeah, like it really helps with stress, but sometimes I will have too much work that I won't have even time for swimming. But I mean, it will really help to maintain the health and the stress levels at control. Yeah.
So if you hadn't gone into computer science, what alternative career path might you have chosen?
Oh, that maybe like civil engineering or law.
Wow. No, I thought you would tell the answer that you told in the house dinner.
I mean, like if I go with what I have a passion to do, I would be a Uber driver. But I think I would, as a career choice, I would rather choose civil engineering or law. Yeah.
So which part of your personal journey has shaped you as researcher the most?
Yeah, so the transformative part as a researcher is like coming to ANU and working with my supervisors at the Graph Research Lab and also the supervisors I met outside from my computing school of computing as well, and they were incredible and they were experts at what they do, and having the chance to work with them and learn from them, it was really transformative.
Wow. So now let's move with some of the fun and personality related questions. So what's your ultimate 80s anthem? Like your favorite song from the 80s? You said you were into 80s music.
Yeah, I'm into 80s music, and that's very tough because there are a lot of classical songs, right, that are all times hit. But I would pick maybe Forever Young as the national anthem because I like to be young.
Your anthem? Okay.
Yeah.
You said you were into retro jackets, right? So retro jackets, collector's passion or fashion nostalgia?
I think it's more of a fashion nostalgia. I guess I like the vibe, but I also have few jackets with me, but it's mostly fashion nostalgia.
Okay. If you could relive one era for its music, which would it be?
80s.
One underrated skill that secretly helps you in research?
I think this goes both way around, but I think it's overthinking.
Okay. That's a skill, okay. If your PhD were a movie genre, what would it be?
Documentary?
Interesting.
We do research and we document them.
So now let's move to our last round, the rapid fire. So just answer in one word, okay? No need to explain or anything. Just pick the answer. So theory or application?
Theory.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Batting or bowling?
Bowling.
Favorite 80s band?
Queens.
Leather or denim retro jacket?
Synthetic leather.
Optimal transport or stable matching? Just pick one.
Optimal transfer.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Python or C++?
Python.
Beach swim or pool swim?
Pool swim.
One word that sums up your PhD journey.
Transformative.
So this brings us to the end of rapid fire round. So Gathika, in the end, do you have anything you'd like to add up to the video or give tips to the people from your country or from around the globe who would like to start their PhD journey soon, or if any other messages?
PhD is challenging, but at the same time, it can be a very nice experience. From my individual experience, I think I would mention like living in the graduate house in university accommodation, same as you, like living here with set of incredible people like I've ever met in my life, personally as well as what they are doing. That was the best thing happened to me during my PhD. I should mention it before I end my interview. PhD is challenging, but it can be a very enjoyable and transformative experience as well. Yes, that's
Okay, so this brings us to the end of this Candid with Candidates, and to all our viewers watching, thank you so much for watching till this end. And in the next episode, I'll be bringing another incredible story with another candidate with their candid stories. Till then, stay safe, stay productive, and thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you.